But I want money. Am I gonna just not release this cool product to the world? Because, children are gonna be addicted to vaping. But isn't it cool? All my peers will like it. All the people will give me high fives. I'm gonna win design conferences for this. A great man once said, "Design is the freshest scam." Quote me on this one. And who said that? Jesus. That quote is actually in the Bible. But for real, the person who said that is Virgil Abloh. So close to Jesus. It's pretty much is a scam. Every rule we have in design is to facilitate that scam. We are here to grab people's attention, to hold that attention, and funnel them into whatever it is we're selling. Keyword selling. Graphic designers, we are one of the biggest arms of capitalism there is. We don't really think about that a lot because we're kind of like, because a lot of us just think that we're here to make beautiful things. There's that quote where it says, design is good, it's invisible. You won't even notice it. And I think that's the dangerous part of design. If the design is really good, is it leading us to a good place for society? Is it good design if it's not good for people? Today I want to talk to you about ethics. I want to talk to you about design ethics, ethics in design, and how there's a lack of it. You know what spurred this video on was because throughout the summer, I kept seeing these elf bars. Like, you know, these elf bars right here? Like all these elf bars. Like, I was like, wow, it looks so good. And like, wow, look at the colors, the gradients. That's awesome. Like, let me take a hit. And I just fell for it. I fell for it. I fell for the scam. You know who else likes colors? Children. Isn't there laws preventing these things from looking like this? There are, but they don't apply to vapes. For example, this pack of cigarettes I bought from Spain, and in the EU, you have to show these pictures. These are designed to kind of warn you of the dangers and make it look stupid. Like they're making moves through the design to stop people from smoking. The history of cigarettes should tell you that they banned like cool characters on cigarettes because it was attracting children. This might be a hot take. A hot take alert, but I think smoking is bad for children. Just smoke a cigarette like an adult. Also in America, you can't have cartoon characters anymore on cigarette advertising or in any part of the branding of cigarettes because, again, it appeals to children. But that doesn't apply to vapes. And I'm like, okay. I was like, why is that? It's because laws are slow, and that's why we need to talk about ethics. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's ethical. And the legal system, historically, has moved really slowly, as we are seeing right now with the rise of AI. Now, this video is not going to be talking about AI because that's a huge can of worms, a huge ethical can of worms. But I'm talking about design as a profession and what we're doing as a class of workers and what are we doing in helping society. Because I don't think we talk about ethics enough. Because you look on Design Twitter, Design X, whatever the place is called now, it's just a bunch of scammers talking about design courses and blah 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 blah, but they're like the worst of it. All this permeates within every aspect of our work. Like, first of all, I guess why should you trust me? Why should you trust this man on the internet? I didn't even go to design school, but you know what I do got is I was in high school speech and debate, and I know a thing or two about philosophy, and then that's pretty much my credentials. I asked my followers to be like, hey, if we're in design school, or currently in design school, do they teach you ethics? And from what I've asked for my followers about what they learned in design school in regards to ethics, it's usually about like not being sued. It's about copyright, it's about plagiarism. Most of that is just to protect, I think, like ethics against other artists. I think as designers, we kind of pat ourselves on the back for making something cool for the client. Our goal, if you really think about it, is to the client. And whatever the client wants, we usually do because we want money to survive. But what does the client want? Also money from the people that we're selling to. That's primarily the problem, is capitalism. Surprise, it's capitalism. But as Milton Glaser, is that how you say his last name? Milton Glaser said that AIGA has a code of ethics, and he had this to say: there is a significant amount of useful information about appropriate behavior towards clients and other designers, but not a word about a designer's relationship to the public. A designer's relationship to the public. That is what I really want to focus on in this video, is our relationship to the public, our responsibility to the public as a graphic designer? Because apparently we don't think about this too much, and this was in 2002, and I feel like nothing much has changed, because like we all care about making a wow, this is a banger design. I'm like, yeah, is it a banger design when you're like selling missiles to Lockheed Martin? I don't know. Maybe I would argue not good. But let's define what is ethical. What is ethics? Welcome to Ethics 101 by Overset Text. Ethics is whatever you want it to be. No, I'm kidding. That's a hard question, because what is ethical isn't necessarily clear cut. Other professions have their own ethical code. For example, doctors have the Hippocratic Oath, which is do no harm, which is like, well, they will not harm their patients. They will not do anything that harms their patients. As designers, we don't have like a clear cut right or wrong, because, you know, ethics is a massive gray area. For example, have you heard of the trolley problem? If you haven't heard of this thought experiment, which is there's a track, right? There's a track. On one side is one worker, and on the other track is 5 tracks. You're on the track, and you have the choice to choose. Would you kill 1 person or 5 people? Which one would you pick? Pick now. If you pick to kill the 5 people, you are wrong. I'm kidding. No, most people would say you would pick the 1 person over there, because like 1 person dying is better than 5 people dying, right? But let's change it up a little bit. What if the 1 person is somebody you love and the 5 people are criminals? Now, which one would you pick? I bet that you'd probably like, I actually don't want to kill my mom or something. So I'm just gonna switch it to the other side. But that's what I mean about ethics being a very gray area. That's why we have philosophers arguing about this for the longest time. I think they are good frameworks. Having a code of ethics that you follow, having a code of ethics is good, because you are actively keeping in mind the people you are serving, instead of just kind of like on a whim, like, oh, like you should do this, you should do that. Like, yeah, what am I feeling today? No, we need to set some guidelines. Ethics is a gray area. It's hard. That's why nobody wants to do it. See, this is the reason why nobody wants to think ethically. It's because it sucks. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it. Like, oh, like I have to think about like, oh no, kids are gonna be addicted to vaping. Oh no. But I want money. I want like, it's so cool. What am I? Oh, am I gonna just not release this cool ass product to the world? Because oh no, children are gonna be addicted to vaping. But isn't it cool? All my peers will like it. All the people will give me high fives. I'm gonna win design conferences for this. I'm gonna win design awards because of this fucking vape. Why? I can't just trick people with shitty UI UX, whole dark patterns that tricks them into buying things? What the hell? Yeah, nobody wants to do this because it sucks. Because it's horrible to think about. It means empathizing with other people. It means less for the bottom line, and which leads us to the final problem. The final problem is capitalism. Sorry, that's it. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There is no ethical design. Surprise! You can't have ethical design because we're in capitalism. None of the things we're doing, we can't all be pure. Like, nobody is pure in this system that we're in. Like, I have to cut corners. I have to work with some corporations, okay? I have to work with some corporations. So don't be fucking in the comments saying like, Overset Text is a hypocrite. Oh, he works with this person. Oh, he works with like. But here's what you can do though. I might be selling a part of my soul to the big A, but that doesn't mean I am fully a piece of shit. Because I've turned down some projects, and that's one of the things that you could do. Here's what you could do. I've turned down some projects that are very dubious, like NFTs. I was like, yeah, I've been hit up by clients who are like, hey, we want you to work on this NFT project. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. There's things that do not align with my values and my ethics that I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to, okay? Because I would feel bad. It would make me feel horrible. I know it would pay well, but I will be selling my soul. And part of how we even ended up here is because of like tech companies and how they treated like this whole game of capitalism. Is that Google's, like, for example, Google's infamous move fast and break things. Well, we broke a lot of things, which led to so many harmful things for society. And I think that thinking has bled into everything that we do as designers. And there's a pressure by clients to have like some really fast turnaround time because of this philosophy. And we just want to get something out. We want to just do what's popping without actually thinking about the ramifications of some of these choices. Despite ethical design not being possible under capitalism, that doesn't mean we can't work towards it. I want to remind you, and I know a lot of people be like, oh, like, it's a systemic problem. I don't have to do anything. That's fucking wrong. It has to come from both sides, okay? But here's what you could do as a person. You right now, here's what you could do. 1, turn down projects that doesn't align with your values. Well, I guess this counts if you're a freelancer. If you're a freelancer, probably say no. Sometimes saying no is good. Say no to things that deep in your heart. If you had to ask yourself, is this good? Like, is this ethical? It's probably not ethical. And if you're actually in an agency or studio and you see something that you don't agree with, I know it's scary, but you need to speak up. Like, say something. You are in the room making these decisions that might impact the entire world. Let's be real. Like, if we as designers really say that, like, oh, like, design can change the world, if we truly believe that, then it could also change it for the worse. But you're in the hot seat. You are the one writing the copy. You're the one putting those symbols on. Like, you have the power to just walk away. And I know that's scary, but I mean, at the end of the day, once we're all old and dying, what would you rather live with? Like the regret that you didn't say anything, or I don't know. It's like, oh wow, just sell your soul. And if you're like in a higher position, talk to the people you're designing for. Like, actually ask them, like, is there even a problem to be solved? Is there a problem to be solved? Or are we just trying to exploit these people for money? Yeah, talk to them. Like, literally talk to them and be like, hey, is this good? Even when you're designing a poster. Like, whenever I make like something that's a little bit more, activist, I want to go to the people that I'm trying to serve and see if it's harmful or not. Like, people you actually trust that are in that group, to the group that you're trying to design for. So go to the people that you're designing for. Ask them. Literally ask them. I know it's scary, but you have to ask them if this is good or not. People you trust. Because if you just say it if you just put it out on the internet, there's gonna be a bajillion things. Go to the people you trust. Also notice that I did not talk a lot about activism in design. Like, I don't mean making posters about like causes that you believe in, which is good in and of itself. And that's what I mean, like, of being a good citizen is I don't think our ethical duty to fellow people stop to like 1 or 2 posters that we make about like, oh wow, this is really like I am really helping people. No, it means actually believing in your policy. It's a day-to-day action. Unfortunately, I know it's hard. That's why nobody wants to do this. And this last thing is probably educate yourself. Ethics, like my whole purpose with this video is for you to start thinking. I want you to think, because ethics, even if like overnight AIGA says like this is the code of ethics for designers, that doesn't mean you should stop there, because ethics is not just about doing good. It's being a good, because ethics is just more about like a way of life. Like, this is not just so you wash your hands clean of like wrongdoing with your design. It's about being a good citizen. It's about being a good person. It's about empathizing with everybody, that we are thinking of everybody when we create things. And that's on a personal level. A good citizen to your fellow man is important, because we can't just fix it from a personal level. It has to go up to the systematic level. We have to, like, I don't know, try our best to set policies that help out our communities, our friends and family, our neighborhood, our city, and then our country, and then the world. Do our best to change the system, and that goes from both ways. This is not an end-all be-all guide to ethics. I'm just saying you need to think about it. Go read some political theory. Go read some economic theory. I don't know. You do that. I'm just here to send you on your way and be like, hey. Also, honestly, I just really want to talk about that vape thing. That vape thing really pissed me off. As designers, we need to see ourselves as gatekeepers of what we are bringing into the world and what we choose not to bring into the world. Like, we are in the room making these choices. Maybe we need to gatekeep some of these bad ideas. Maybe gatekeep some of these. Maybe we don't need the fancy gradient vape. Maybe don't make it. And I know I didn't touch on the big AI topic because that is a whole video on its own. I'm just talking about the profession that we are in now. I don't have time for that in this video. I just want you guys thinking about it. And I think this will lead to the next whatever AI video that I eventually will make. And eventually that AI video will be made, but I need to think about it more. As much as you guys think that there's nothing to think about, there is a lot to think about. So, and you know what? I love thinking. Usually I love thinking. There should be more thinking in the world. I know I have a poster that says no more thinking. Maybe a little bit of thinking. How about a little bit of thinking, huh? How about some thinking? How about you think? Mic test. Mic test. Mike, who's Mike Tess?